continues to remain our top priority at this time. Our Chief, Tim McConnell, with the New Orleans Fire Department, continues to be the lead on this. And I'll turn it over to the Chief at this time.
Thank you, Mayor. As the Mayor said, we're in rescue mode. We have teams that are currently making entry as we speak into the building again in an effort to try and locate the one victim we have that we have not been able to locate. We also have some pretty large cranes that are moving into place in an effort to try and stabilize that crane that's attached to the building. From that point, until we know different, we will stay in the rescue mode. That's obviously life safety is always our #1 priority. From there, hopefully we get a rescue today. Our goal would then be to move to recovery for the 2 victims that we know that we have. But once again, keeping the first responders safe and keeping the community safe is #1 on this, and we will keep y'all up to date as we move through this today.
Absolutely. And after search and rescue, as the Chief has indicated, it will then shift into a full investigation mode, and we will be relentless in those efforts moving forward. It's stabilizing the scene, but safety and rescue is that top priority for us consistently. Dr. Nichols?
Yes, good morning. So at this time, we do know that 30 people have been injured and evaluated in hospitals for this event. Some were transported by multiple emergency medical services staffed by our priority by our New Orleans Emergency Medical Services, and some people went to the hospital on their own. We are so thankful that the majority of those people that went to the hospital, all but one, were discharged. We do certainly recognize that there are still 2 people who died in this and 1 person that we are working ever so hard to recover at this point in time. And so I just want to make sure everyone recognizes, and I know you do, that this is such a physically stressful but also an emotionally stressful event. And we are keeping these families and these people in our thoughts and prayers. And I also want to make sure that everyone knows that there is a resource line that you can call through the Metropolitan Human Services District that is a part of the state's Department of Health, and that number is 504-826-2675. That is a 24/7 line that offers behavioral services in the greater New Orleans area. If there's any emotional assistance and support that you need, we're supporting each other and our first responders and our families, and we encourage you to do the same.
The one individual that remains at UMC is in stable condition. He did undergo surgery on yesterday. I was with him last night about 12 a.m. And talking with him, and he is in the best of spirits that he can be in. His family is on their way here to the city of New Orleans. We want people to heed all traffic precautions that we have put out as we stabilize this area and continue to make search and rescue a top priority. But this is going to be even a long process, and we just want people to pay attention to any advisories that come from the Mayor's Office of Communication. The Regional Transit Authority, RTA, we're making preparations for tomorrow, because tomorrow, Monday, starts the active business day to the start of our week. We have relocated the main transit area on Canal and Rampart to in front of the RTA station on Canal Street. And so we ask that people go to ready.nola.gov for information that will come at real time from the city of New Orleans.
All right, we'll open up for questions.
Are you releasing the names of the individuals who are deceased and of the individuals missing?
Currently, we have not been able to identify. We've confirmed the fatalities as it relates to 2. Still 1 remains confirmed, but their identities is something that we're still we're working on right now.
We've received some other calls and messages about other buildings that may have gotten damaged, such as the Sanger. Can anyone comment on the potential damage to that building, which is next door?
Well, there has been damage to the Sanger Theater as we know it. The extent not as well defined just yet. We do know that there's been damage to the roof of the facility. We have canceled any activities, like Wicked, for example, has been canceled for the remainder of its season, of its show, which was expected to end on October the 20th. Entergy has been also a great partner in making sure that electricity has been cut off to all buildings in the area, up to 10 of them, as we have been informed. That also speaks to gas. Right now, there has been no indications of any gas leaks as well. We are asking any businesses that have been impacted to contact and make sure we're setting up a business incubation center at City Hall directly with the Office of Community Development and Economic Development, and of course Safety and Permit. So we want to make sure that those businesses do communicate with the city so that we can help them as best as possible. But we do know that 10 for a fact have been pretty much decommissioned, and that's what we know at this time.
Chief, I spoke with some of the family members this morning. They want to know two things. What took so long to get the cranes here, and how quickly can they go up?
I would, we'll talk to the families and address them, but for the public's information, our original estimate on getting a crane here of that size was 2 weeks. We got it here in less than 24 hours. They're setting it up as we speak. So it is a perception thing. People tend to think things are going to go much faster than they do. That crane was on a job site in North Baton Rouge, had to be unassembled and brought here. The crane is massive. It weighs 110 tons, and moving that on a highway is not something that would normally be allowed. It would have to be dismantled. We got some cooperation with the state, got escorts, got it brought here, and as I said, it is actually being mobilized and put in place as we speak. That is a tribute to the contractors and everybody who stepped up. I mean, that took a lot for them to cut loose from where they were and get it here, and so I'd like to commend them for that. Once again, when you're going from a 2-week estimate to getting people to understand that we're in a rescue, and getting it here was a big accomplishment.
Second question, and when are both of the cranes going to be in place, do you estimate?
Right now, it'll be quite a few hours. Those things, once again, take a minute to set up. It take a little while to set up, and that's where we are.
Up to 3 hours to mobilize a crane.
Per crane, and there are 2 cranes. So, and we have some more engineers that are flying in as we speak. So, and from Europe. So, we want y'all to understand that this is not something you take lightly. Once again, safety is the #1 thing. The last thing you want to do is, as you're trying to rescue someone, lose someone else. So,
how difficult is it to get into something like that, though? How difficult is it to get into a building like that, though?
It's to do it safely. So we talk about, you're asking how safe is it to difficult to get in. Getting in is easier than getting in and doing it safely. So we make sure that the rescuers can do their job and get anybody out who's in there to be rescued.
Well, and it's important to note that it's not safe right now. It is not stable. The area is unstable right now, and safety is top priority. Rescue, absolutely, but we cannot overestimate, the structure being unsound, unstable right now.
Have the bodies been recovered?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Not at this time.
What can you tell us about the contractor or anything? I know you guys have been looking into the recent inspections, things like that. Is there anything that you can tell us at this preliminary point about the contractor or the work?
Well, what we can say is that absolutely permitted, up to code, that sort of thing, but the investigation will go into swift mode right after rescue, and we will be relentless in that. It will be thorough, and we will be open and transparent with the public as it relates to it. OSHA has been on the ground, and OSHA steps in right after rescue has been completed. We will be working in coordination with OSHA as necessary, but this will remain a priority for the city of New Orleans.
Ma'am, what did it mean to you to finally see that survivor yesterday after midnight? What did it mean to you personally to actually look at that person, offer comfort to that person, look into the whites of the eyes of that person?
Well, I told him, I said, look, man, I have to touch him. I said, look, and I even had to touch his head because he matters. People matter. And he was an employee on the job, on the 8th floor. Happened very fast. As he was talking to me, tears were, of course, in his eyes. And I said, look, man, do not shy away from any therapy. This is a very traumatic experience. Trauma affects people in different ways, and he matters, you know, and I want him to have a full recovery. It was just very important. I will remain in contact with him, as I told him, and with his family, who was, you know, on their way into the city, but also the families who are very much attached to our 3 individuals that remain on site. And as we told the families yesterday, although we do have confirmed that 2 have passed on, but they're still a priority. Their bodies matter. And so as we make sure that we focus on safety and rescue, that will always be at the top, you know, of our minds.
So
but they're people.
That person was strong enough to at least react to you, who was in the hospital?
Yes, his femur. Yes, he had an operation on his femur. Operation went well. He stabilized in the best, I would say, condition as possible. He told me, you know, it could have been worse. And that's what he said. It just could have been worse. And he wanted to make sure that his co-workers were safe. He was envisioning the 2 that were on the floor with him. I could not give him any indication at the time, you know, that one of them that we're still looking for wasn't a part of the 3. You know, they're a priority for us. They're
Did he
people.
describe those moments when it happened? Did he talk about that at all?
He said it happened very fast. He heard noise, looked around and moved very, very quickly, and was transported to UMC. EMS was, what, 4 minutes?
Yes.
Took you to
We got there
arrive.
in 4
EMS was
minutes.
on the scene in 4 minutes and got him to UMC.
And who
Is
is
there
the
a
contractor?
preliminary report as to what caused the collapse?
No, we've started our investigation, but we're a ways from it, as the mayor said. Right now, rescue, and we cannot emphasize that enough. Right now, it's rescue mode. Investigation, obviously, is a part of from the very moment you arrive on the scene. But right now, no.
And Mayor, who is the contractor?
The contractor, I believe Citadel. Citadel is the contractor. They have been on the ground as well with us. There is a chief engineer that will be here at 1 o'clock. There's one flying in from Germany that is expected to be here at 7 p.m. We wanted him to be here sooner, but the delays with the airline, I'm being told. But this is a very, very serious situation, as this structure is not stable. And we want people to stay away from the area, but how we touch it, it just matters, and that is something that is, you know, at the top of our minds.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Explain the delicate work of what it takes to go for your teams to go and do this work. Could you talk about it? Could you describe how delicate it is and how dangerous?
Once again, you got a building that's very unstable. The mayor emphasized that. So it's critical. You get in there, you got to make sure as you start to move debris, you got to make sure that everything's shored up. We have quite a bit of equipment here in the city. Quite often it lies in weight. People don't realize it, but much like firefighters at a fire station, equipment's there. We have 18-wheel of use of our equipment to shore things up. I do want to emphasize, since we're in this rescue mode, that people do understand, and we're going to be in a recovery mode for quite a while. Traffic is a huge thing. Please avoid this area. Workday starts tomorrow. Please make a plan for how, if you got to get near this area, how you're going to get where you have to get in a safe manner and not impede the rescue that's going on and the work that'll be going on there. Find an alternative to how you get there. We ask employers to be understanding that if you have workers who are trying to get here, they may be delayed. They may not be able to get in. So we ask cooperation from individuals, personal responsibility, and businesses to please be responsible and keep that in mind.
And we're very thankful to the hospitality community that has been, you know, providing food and drinks for all, and they will remain, I'm told, connected to us and with us as we move through rescue and recovery mode. So we want to thank them for that.
For residents in the evacuation zone, are there any sort of city services being provided to them? Are they able to access their elemental belongings or anything like that?
Absolutely. Through the New Orleans Health Department and through the contractor, we have identified persons that have had issues with, finding a place to stay. We've got them hotel rooms. We'll continue to do outreach on that. And I would say that for anybody in the city, follow us at NOLA Ready, ready.nola.gov, or text your zip code to 888-777. We'll be providing constant updates on this. Traffic, situational awareness as far as what's going on at that site. We'll be providing that to the public. As soon as we can verify information and confirm it, we'll put it out.
Do you know how many people live in the area?
We're looking at, there is around 100. We're targeting about 30 that needed assistance, as far as finding a place to stay while this is going on, and we've arranged that, so that's happened.
Yeah. And thank you to all of just the public for being responsive, as well as the New Orleans City Council members that have stepped in and stepped up as well. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Go ahead.